Blake Lively backs down against Baldoni. Or does she? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. One of the interesting aspects about the narcissist is the narcissist's ability to essentially want it all ways, to have one's cake and to eat it. For instance, the narcissist could say to you, "This ball is orange. Actually, it's white. No, it's black, and I never said it was anything other." And you would be left scratching your head, thinking, "I can see that it's yellow. How on earth is this person maintaining that it is all of these different colours, and then has denied that it has been different colours, and that they're maintaining it's one, namely black, which is still wrong?" This, as I've explained to you on many occasions, is a product of the way that the narcissism works. There is a distortion field around the narcissist. This distortion field causes the narcissist to look upon interactions simply in terms of under control or not under control. Accordingly, the narcissist will see a tree in the way that you see a tree and will describe it as the same. The narcissist could see somebody else behaving badly and comment, "That person is behaving badly," and you would agree with that view. But when it comes to their own interactions with other individuals, that's where the distortion field plays its part. Accordingly, in order to assert control over you by provoking you, the narcissist will say, "This ball is orange," because in that moment, the narcissism has caused them to believe that it is orange. You react to that and go, "No, it's not. It's yellow." Because you're threatening the narcissist's need for control, the narcissist then shifts it to a different colour. "No, actually, it's white." Again, provoking you, not confirming that it's yellow, because that would give you the sense of control. You again point out, "But the ball is yellow." "Actually, no, it's black." "But you've just said that it's orange and white." "No, I didn't." As soon as you point out that the narcissist is wrong, you are threatening the narcissist's need for control, so the narcissist utilizes the first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense, denial, and claims they never said that it was white, and they never said that it was orange, and they've maintained that it's black all along. You then point out again, "But it's not black, it's yellow." Again, you're threatening the narcissist's need for control. The narcissist insists that it's black, or at that stage may well say, "Yeah, I know it's yellow. That's what I said before." "No, you didn't." "Yes, I did." Again, the denial and the revision of history. Your head's all over the place. How can this narcissist claim it to be all of these different colours and yet not to be these different colours? That is because, for the purposes of the pursuit of the prime aims, the absence of accountability, the sense of entitlement that the narcissist has, the narcissist can claim all of these things and none of these things, dependent upon what is required in the particular moment. And we see an excellent example of this in relation to the behaviour of Blake Lively. As you know, she's locked in litigation with Justin Baldoni, and following detailed analysis, I established that Lively is a narcissist. If you've not watched that series, I would encourage you to do so. Dominic Patton in Deadline reports, after some quiet on the East Coast Court docket front, once again, the battle royale between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the It Ends With Us's director's inner circle has become a she said, they said in the federal courts. Specifically, this time, it has to do with the emotional distress claims that Lively put in her initially filed New Year's Eve lawsuit against Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, its execs and PR team. First, filing a sexual harassment and retaliation claim with California's Civil Rights Department against Baldoni, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, billionaire Steve Sarovitz, and CEO Jamie Heath with California's Civil Rights Department, Lively took it to court formally a few weeks later, and then the lawsuits all around started flying. The whole shebang is set to go to trial on March the 9th, 2026. in the long march to that day. The latest skirmish is over Lively's 10th cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress, and her 11th cause of action for negligent infliction of emotional distress. In a letter to the judge, with an email exchange between lawyers on both sides from the weekend attached, Baldoni's attorney stated, "Ms. Lively's counsel recently advised us in writing that Ms. Lively is withdrawing her IED claims." Now, this appears to be the case that Lively has come up against something called discovery or disclosure in the UK, whereby Baldoni's team legitimately invited her to identify her medical and mental health care providers, to produce her mental health records, and to deliver to the wayfarer parties the necessary duly executed HIPAA authorizations, permitting them to obtain Miss Lively's medical and mental health care records from her providers. Accordingly, they want to see, where is the evidence that you experienced emotional distress as a consequence of the actions that you claim Justin Baldoni engaged in? This request is naturally a threat to her control. Furthermore, it might be that there is information in her health records that she doesn't want them seeing. Thus, there are two potential threats to control. One, the request to see evidence of supposed emotional distress when there isn't any. And secondly, the possible exposure of information she doesn't want exposed. Accordingly, in order to nullify that threat to control, it was stated that she has withdrawn those causes of action. Therefore, the issue of her health, her medical care records no longer becomes relevant. Baldoni's team threaten her need for control. She nullifies that by saying, well, I'm not going to claim those things anymore, so you don't need to see these records. Job done. However, this typifies the behaviour of the narcissist, because whilst this is what has been claimed in the correspondence between lawyers, Lively claims that she would drop the IED claims for now, with a catch. Namely, she wants to withdraw them but reserve the right to resurrect them if she so chooses. Baldoni's lawyer stated, she can't have it both ways. But the narcissist believes that they can, because the narcissism tells them that. They're entitled, unaccountable. The narcissist can face both north and south at the same time, along with east and west. She can both withdraw the claims, but then say, I'll bring them back in order to hold them over Baldoni. Baldoni's lawyer stated, if Miss Lively wants to withdraw her frivolous IED claims, the wayfarer parties are entitled to a dismissal with prejudice to ensure they will not be refiled. If Miss Lively is unwilling to stipulate to the dismissal of her IED claims with prejudice, then the wayfarer parties will continue to defend against them, and she must produce her medical information and documents as set forth herein. Which makes sense, doesn't it? If you're going to maintain them, we want to see the documentation. However, what's the response from Lively's lawyers? Once again, this is a routine part of the litigation process that is being used as a press stunt, with foot-stomping outrage from the relevant lawyers. Well, this is deflection. They replied stating, we're doing what trial lawyers do, preparing our case for trial by streamlining and focusing it. They are doing what they do, desperately seeking another tired round of tabloid coverage. The Baldoni wayfarer strategy of filing retaliatory claims has exposed them to expansive new damage claims under California law, rendering certain of Miss Lively's original claims no longer necessary. Classic piece of blame shifting. We don't need to bring these claims any longer, not because you frightened us off. No. Far from it. In actual fact, we're streamlining the claims, and also, it's as a consequence of your own conduct, we don't need to bring these claims any longer, but we'd like to retain the right to bring the claims at a future point. Thus, in the context of this litigation, on the one hand, it looks like Blake Lively is withdrawing her claims as a consequence of a response to the threat to control. It's dressed up as saying, oh no, you didn't make us do this. In actual fact, it was as a consequence of your idiotic claims and our need for streamlining that we did this. Nothing to see here, but we want to reserve the right to bring them again, to which, of course, Baldoni's lawyers saying, you're wanting it both ways at once, which is typical behaviour of the narcissist. Once again, Blake Lively's narcissism permeates this litigation, providing me with an example to highlight another aspect of the way that the narcissist behaves. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.